Should you consolidate your UK pensions? Okay, today I'm going to be breaking this down for your video at some of the top reasons you may or may not want to consolidate your UK pensions to put you in an informed position to make an educated decision. If you want to speak with myself or one of our senior financial advisors, we have over 100 5-star Google reviews. Get in touch below. I will head over to our website to do some more due diligence before booking in for a free initial consultation where you understand a little bit more about your situation and advise how we may be able to help you. Okay, so on the positive side of the equation, I would say 95% of UK residents who have defined contribution schemes should consolidate their existing DC schemes. The reason for this, particularly if they're former workplace pension schemes, is you probably do not have the time or even understand what they're invested in. Do you know what your annual performance was? Do you know what your costs are? Do you know what your equity weighting is? Do you know even where you're invested in the world? 95% of people in the UK cannot answer that question. I know because I talk to them every day on Zoom. They simply don't know the answer. And they say, Dominic, it's madness. I never realized it, but yeah, I mean, I've had these pension pots for 20 years. I haven't got a clue what they're invested in. I just get a piece of paper through the post every January time with a statement, and it seems to have gone up a little bit. I think I'm doing okay. Never thought to do anything about it until I actually had time, or COVID, or I'm retired, to actually think about pension consolidation. And the other statistic is that 95% of people in the UK are still invested in the default fund scheme from when they started the pension plan. The default fund. Now, the conflict of interest as well. Say XYZ Limited DC pension scheme, they have a default fund that 95% of people are in. How much money do you think they make from that default fund? If 95% of people never leave, only 5% of people actually pick the funds in their defined contribution schemes. So by the law of averages, unless that one company you started working with in the 80s and 90s and noughties just happens to be the best provider in the world with the best fund in the world, despite the fact there's 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 funds in the world, the chances of you being in the best fund and in line with your risk profile are so slim. And I see it time and time again. The other big reason that I would typically transfer out is cost. A lot of the underlying portfolios they provide you with are high cost. It might say the XYZ balanced portfolio 0.6% or 1%, and you might think, oh, that's not too bad, that's quite cheap. It's expensive. You can build the same thing yourself with a financial advisor for a far reduced level of cost. Now, obviously, you'll end up working with a financial advisor, so you'll have an additional cost there if you have no financial advisor on your defined contribution scheme. But from all the analysis I've done for the past 10 years, by the time you consolidate the pensions down, you eliminate the additional charges of the schemes, you change the underlying portfolio from maybe 1 or 1.5% cost down to 0.2, 0.3, 0.4% cost, that actually provides the way to actually have a financial advisor included for the same cost of what you're paying inside your DC scheme. You have all your voyant cash flow plan, you have someone you can ask about all of your finances, ask you the tricky and difficult questions about your finances, get your wills, your mortgages, your lifetime LPAs sorted, all the things your defined contribution scheme won't push you to do because you don't have a financial advisor with them. So, defined contribution schemes, I would say it's almost certain that it's in your interest to consolidate them. Obviously, until we've written a formal advice report for you, we can't say that 100%, but that's effectively what we see in the industry. On the other side of the equation, when we have defined benefit, final salary schemes, I would say it's often not in your interest. The FCA has taken the standpoint that it is not in the interest of the majority of people to consolidate away from the defined benefit plan. The reasons for this are pretty much endless. You may have heard DB schemes referred to as gold-plated. This is because they are index-linked, say RPI or CPI plus X% to grow over the course of your lifetime, no matter what happens in the markets. So if you go for a financial crash like 2008, 2009, 2020, it doesn't matter. Your portfolio will still continue to grow inside your defined benefit scheme. So for the majority of people, you should not consolidate your defined pension plans. However, many people do. Many people go against the advice of their financial advisor because they say, thank you very much for your advice. I know it's in line with FCA regulation. I understand you guys are the professionals, but I've made an independent decision that I wish to consolidate my defined benefit pension scheme. Please proceed with the transfer. So a lot of people still do transfer, and there's many advantages of transferring out a defined benefit scheme. You can have 100% of the pension pot passed on to your named beneficiaries, as opposed to typically only 50% of your annual pension being paid to your spouse. Now, any good qualified pension transfer specialist would say, yeah, but you don't need to transfer out. You could just take life insurance to cover what would be lost if you were to die and your spouse only got 50% of your pension. You could take life insurance for the other 50%. But I can tell you now, very few clients like to pay for life insurance to cover themselves on a pension that they could transfer out and pass 100% onto their kids, beneficiaries, husband, wife, partner, whatever it might be. So the question is not as easy with defined benefit schemes, and it's why it's really important to get quality advice and to work with someone who you trust. Here at Cameron James for pension consolidation for your defined contribution schemes, we put together a free report for you outlining everything, your rationale, the SIP provider typically we recommend to go to, the underlying platform, our portfolio. You get to see everything in detail before making an independent, informed decision as to whether or not you wish to move ahead with a transfer. With a defined benefit pension plan, not quite so simple. Defined benefit pension transfer advice is non-contingent, which means you must pay the fixed fee report for the DB report, irrespective of whether you transfer or not, via our pension transfer specialist. So DB, a little bit more complicated. Anyway, guys, I hope that's been a useful video for you. Really let me know in the comment section below if you've had any experience at pension consolidation, any questions you have, and as always, feel free to get in touch, head over to the website, check out, use our Calendly to find a free initial consultation for yourself with one of our senior financial advisors. And as always, take care with your UK pension assets.